We should. Yeah, I think we're live now.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll wait for people to join in. I'll just let Matt know that I got it sorted.
I'm not seeing it at YouTube yet, but is it still as unlisted?
It's showing. Maybe that's why. Yeah. Edit. Will it be an edit video? Hang on. What's it going to be under? Maybe edit video. Yeah, unlisted. Public. Now there we go. There we go. That's it.
Yeah, I see it now.
I think we're live now.
Yeah.
Right, everybody. We'll try this again. So hopefully it's switching between Paul and I. This is round 2 of the EU version of getting to know what's going on at MRRF this year and everything. So, Paul, if you can introduce yourself again, please, just so then we can see if the camera switches, then we know that we're good to go.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, I'm Paul, also then 3D printing stuff on Twitter and YouTube, and have been printing for a lot of years, and still loving it.
Great stuff. I think it's switching. I think we're good to go.
It looks like it actually is switching now.
Looks like we've got rid of those technical glitches. Hopefully people will rejoin. We'll just have to see whether they do or not, I guess. I will post the link on Twitter. And if you want to just let us know what you're working on at the moment, Paul.
Yeah, I'm working mostly on a pretty large project. It's physical Pong. It's a large mechanical version of Pong. Part of 3D printed parts, some 3D printed based electronics, using a RAM board for mostly all motor controls and things like that. So I've been working on that since early January, and hopefully going to finish it soon.
Great. I'm just typing this tweet, and I'll be back with you.
Yes.
No.
Like we have some viewers again.
Yeah, are we getting people viewing?
Yeah, we have local host again in the chat and Grumpy Dude. So that's great.
I think that's the right link. Let's just see. Profile. Where's my profile? Let's go. This one. It should be live. Yeah, I think so. There we go. There we go. So anybody, there we go. We're back. Hark, your image is bumpy. Oh, that'll be the wobble. I'm not going to win tonight, am I? if we're not switching between the hangout, then I don't know what. I'm sorry about the lack of this. Let me just see if I can sort it. Hang on. Let's see.
It has been all that evening actually like that.
Has it? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know whether it's because it's on my laptop stand and it's jumping because of that. I don't really know what it is. I honestly don't know the problem. It might be when I'm clicking. I don't know. Does it happen when I'm not clicking? When I'm not anywhere near the keyboard? Is it still happening like now, or?
Now is a bit better, but
it is a bit better, right? I just won't move from this position. I think I must be knocking the table. That's all I can think. Okay, I'm just going to try and move this over here so I can see the chat. Hopefully it won't be jumpy. Yes, better. Oh, we're jumping again. There we go. Sorry, guys. I'm trying. It's every time I'm touching the keyboard. I think it's just a bit jumpy. Sorry. So we've got Grumpy Dude in the chat, and we've got no, don't be sorry, Grumpy Dude. It's fine, man. Absolutely fine. I appreciate the feedback. I just need to keep my hands still. I'm very talkative and very expressive. Getting seasick here, are you? Right, sorry about that. So I'll try and keep completely still. It's obviously something to do with that. I don't really know. It's the laptop camera that's built into the laptop, so I don't know honestly what's making it jump.
It's also some kind of hardware thing, it looks like.
A hardware thing, right? Okay.
It's probably not really easily solvable. It's
Okay. Let me just see if I can fix it. I might have to go off and come back on. But then if I do that, it might kill the stream, and I don't really want to do that.
yeah, not sure if that's worth it again.
I know. Let's turn the camera off and then turn it back on. Is that better? He says, "Oh, it's the camera itself, right?" I pass. I don't know. The only other option is that I plug a USB camera in and mount it. I can do it if people want me to. That's going to be less annoying.
I think they are saying it's fine for now.
Right. Okay.
You probably just should get started or something.
Yeah. No, don't worry, mate. Back to what you guys were talking about. Well, we weren't talking about anything because we were trying to get the stream started for round 2. Yeah, so tonight's been quite eventful. For those of you that joined us earlier, we were talking about Paul's project that he's working on, electronic version of Pong, I believe he's working on, that's 3D printed, and he's done all the electronics and everything, which is awesome. And we're hoping that some people from MRRF will actually join the stream. And Mrs. Ruby, Katie Ruby, has just joined the stream. Katie is an amazing streamer over on Twitch. And I've been streaming on Twitch quite frequently. I haven't really been on YouTube. This is my first time on YouTube in actually about a month because I've been spending a lot of time on Twitch. And I'm plugging my Twitch channel a little bit. Probably shouldn't be doing that, but hey ho. So I know Katie from over there, and she's a great cooking streamer. So if you're on Twitch and you search for Mrs. Ruby, then she's definitely worth checking out. She's a great streamer. And we are getting some people in the chat, which is great. TK is here. Welcome, TK, to the stream. It was doing it earlier. I'm sure we'll survive. Right, okay. Martin's here. Brithawks, welcome to the stream. And we're hoping, like I said before, we're hoping that some people from MRRF will be able to join the stream. And yeah, don't shout me on. I'm here to listen to your 3D printing information. Well, my stuff isn't magic. I just get on with it, I guess. Good evening, David. Hope you're well. And James is joining the stream. Good evening, James. How are you?
Hi, James.
Doing well. How is everybody doing?
I think we're all right. I think we're just about getting sorted with the stream. We had a bit of an issue earlier where it kept dropping out, and my camera keeps jumping. And so apologies if you feel a bit seasick watching me. The face doesn't help, let alone the fact that it's jumping up and down. So
And hi, Baxter. Welcome as well to the chat.
Wexter's here. Welcome, Vedran. And James, if you just want to introduce yourself to the stream, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm James. I'm a part of the Sonic Alchemy Makerspace collective. It's me, my kids, and other people. We have the YouTube channel. We do makers fairs. We build 3D printers, and there's a whole bunch of weird random projects in here, like on helmets and other stuff. Started as a maker when I was a little kid, and you can find us on Sonic Makerspace on Twitter, Sonic Alchemy Makerspace on Facebook, YouTube, all that sort of thing. We'll be at Maker Faire Berlin in May. That's where you can see us live the next time. Otherwise, Usually their videos up once a week, but there's been some family issues recently. I've been away dealing with some family issues, so there hasn't been much. Sorry about that, guys, but more to come soon.
I know the feeling, not so much the family issues, and I hope you get sorted on that end, James. But I haven't posted a YouTube video for a month, as I was mentioning earlier. I've been streaming quite a lot on Twitch, so my focus has been on that. And yeah, YouTube has kind of been on the back burner, so to speak. But I've still been printing and everything. And you know, tonight's all about like the stuff that's going on at MRRF. So obviously, that's a big community event that's going on over there. I mean, I think this weekend there's like thousands of people that'll be there. There's all the big names like Joe Tellin, Tom's 3DP, 3D Maker Noob, Japman, you know, James Print and Play, Country 3D. I could go on, and the Chris Riley, of course. So I think having this stream open, hopefully, as I said before, I'll post the link in another group that I'm a part of, actually, that will allow people to hopefully join the stream who are over in the States, and then that'd be awesome if they can, you know, they can join this one as well. So what's your thoughts on MRRF then, James?
I was actually watching Country 3D was doing a stream before, and oddly enough, you could see Martin walking around, pacing in front of his table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the idea is pretty cool. The fact that you have all of these people coming together and networking and what everybody else is doing. And it's an interesting thing because I don't think there's a couple of things. There's a meetup, there's the Swedish meetup, but I'm not sure if like everybody can get to that. And then I think you guys have one in the UK as well.
Yeah, the 3D Meetup Sweden, you can just go there. It's you just need to get tickets. Exactly. It's I think around €10 or something like that for tickets. And then it's just open for basically everyone. It's a great meetup,
exactly,
and pretty small, but yeah, it's a lot of great people.
Yeah, unfortunately this year I won't be attending that one, but I'm hoping to get there next year. But I think it really inspires and fosters a sense of growing the community and fostering collaboration and work within the community, because you can see a lot of interesting projects and collaboration and things come out of
and just meeting people, and everyone's just really friendly. That's just one great thing.
Yeah, I mean the community overall is very welcoming. Like no matter what, you know, whether you're a newbie or, you know, I find that like especially on Twitter compared to Facebook, for example, just from my personal opinion, if you post something on Twitter that, oh, I'm struggling with this, somebody will reach out and say, hey, if you do this, this will work. Whereas sometimes in Facebook, for example, you can get quite scrutinized for not knowing, which is not always the best, not very helpful. But I think it's a bit of yin and yang with it. You know, sometimes it'll work on one area, other times it won't. But, you know, community hangouts like this are really helpful because people can drop in the chat, especially if they're new or even if they're experienced. They can, you know, jump in and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, or I'm working on this project. I want to share it with you. Do you want to have a look and stuff like that? So,
yeah, absolutely. Incidentally, I was just in San Diego, California, and I happened across a meetup.com link for a local 3D printing meetup. It was in a cafe, a coffee shop. There was about 10 people. One young guy brought his self-made Hypercube Evo, and there were 4 or 5 people who were just starting out. So it was really interesting range of knowledge, but it was a really nice experience to sit down with people, share some prints, talk about some experiences, and just sort of get to know a small local scene and be involved with that. I think that is sometimes can be even more interesting then my experience with going to larger things is sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming when you have, you know, oh my gosh, there's the Fun King and this guy over here, but wait, I gotta go, you know, where you can just focus your attention and spend a little more time talking with people.
Yeah.
So that was a fun experience I had recently. About 2 weeks ago, I was able to do that. But still hope one of these days either to the timing works out or be able to find the funding to make it to MRRF.
Yeah. I mean, it's like for me, I wanted to go to MRRF this year, but you know, lots of things happened and like commitments and everything got in the way. And I kept saying, I'm going to hopefully make it. Hopefully make it. This was like last year. And then, you know, lo and behold, something else came up. And then it was just like, absolutely not. I can't make it. But then I want to try and plan it from like now, as soon as I hear the date, to try and really make it out there. So we've got a question in the chat from Katie, the streamer who I mentioned from Twitch. She says, our public library has a 3D printer. Do you have any recommended first project to try on it? And if I ever get the guts to try it, I think the first thing from me would be, you know, don't be too scared to try it. If people are in the library and they're willing to help you, then brilliant. If you're struggling for knowledge, then reach out on Twitter. There's enough people within the community that'll be more than happy to help. And obviously, you know, me, Katie, can reach out to me. You know, and like TK says, yeah, something small and practical is a good idea, like door wedges, or, you know, even printing fun things like a benchy and stuff, because that teaches you a lot about what a printer can actually do with the overhangs and, you know, the bridging and everything like that. That's why it was created, for that specific reason. So you're not just using it. Yeah, it's nice, cute boat, but it's not only that. It's a bit of a torture test for a 3D printer as well.
Some people like, I don't know if you can kind of see that, but like a simple carabiner.
Yeah,
this is available on Thingiverse. It's the Zortrax. If you search on, I don't have the link in front of me, but if you search on Thingiverse for the Zortrax carabiner, it's a simple print. It takes about at 0.2, takes maybe an hour, maybe less, 45 minutes. And that's a really nice, simple print you can do. As long as your bed is level, you should have a nice print and have something that you can use and show off.
Yeah.
One of the things I print usually when I first get a new filament.
When you get a new filament, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, on my backpack, I usually have about 10 of them, and
All right.
that I'm testing. I expose them to the elements. You know, one that's got a G, okay, that's gyroid. This one is 20% infill. This is a PET. Yeah. So, but they're simple to print, or find something you like.
Yeah, it's funny. Kay actually reached out to me. We were in like Discord on from her stream actually, and she said that she saw this that a guy had designed on Thingiverse, but it was a Reddit file. Now, obviously, because she's not too into 3D printing, she wasn't sure that there was a link there. Now, you may have seen the video that Uncle Jesse did on this. Now, this is Chick-fil-A, which is a massive brand over in the States. A guy on Thingiverse designed a Chick-fil-A sauce holder. So I think it'll like work for McDonald's and stuff like that. So you can put it in like this is it, but you can put it in like your cup holder in the car, so then you don't spill your sauce while you're having your Chick-fil-A while you're driving. You know, Chick-fil-A and driving, I don't know whether that's like an illegal thing or whatever, but so she said, I'd love one of these. So I was like, well, I'll drop it into Tinkercad and I'll make like a custom version. So her thing is like being a good egg. That's her thing. So I've got Mrs. Ruby and then good egg sauce because she's a cook. So, I'm going to send this over to the States for us. Then she's got this because she really wanted one. So this is a custom one for her that's I've just modified slightly. And this is like a 3-hour print, and it's ever so slightly practical as well. So.
Oh, cool. And yeah, something like Tinkercad is as much as some people poo-poo on Tinkercad,
yeah,
it doesn't do circles well. That being said, it's a great place to learn my oldest and I sat down, and in 2 hours, her having never seen a CAD program before, 2 hours later, she had a model. We exported it, sliced it, and printed it, and it was a hybrid chicken, egg, rabbit thing that she created. But she was totally happy. And in less than 2 hours, I walked her through how it worked, and she designed the thing. And by the time she went to bed that evening, she had this model in her hand.
Yeah. Do you get the complaint like I do from my wife though? Why isn't it totally smooth? It's got sharp edges, blah blah blah. Like it's not. I mean, this is a pretty clean print. I mean, there's no sharp edges on this, but occasionally you'll print something and it isn't ever so slight. It is ever so slightly rough,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes the most often comment I get at my house is, "Why does it have to stink?" All right, so I'm working on air filtration system right now, but that usually the other comment is, "And what is that for? What does it do?"
Yeah.
PLA doesn't smell that badly, or at least I might just be used to it. But ABS is really the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Wexter's saying software these days are so easy to learn and to use. Plus, it's very rewarding when you print something that you've created. Yeah, I mean, well, Wexter alone, as you probably know, he creates incredible designs. Like they're all over my mini factory, and I think he's releasing like 3 or 4 a week at the moment. It's rapid with it, and it's a full-time job, and to be able to be just randomly just pumping out these amazing designs that he does. And if you don't know who Wexter is, by all means check him out on my mini factory, because he really is very talented in ZBrush. So
absolutely. And if you happen to be on Twitter, and any given week you will see at least 3 or 4 people of, "Here's the print I did, a Workster print." So
yeah, I'm usually one of them.
for sure.
Yeah.
They are amazing.
What gets me is like, I understand the like visual concept, and I can map it out in my head, but it's a bit like drawing something, like putting pen to paper. It's like with something like ZBrush, sometimes from having a quick look at it, you start with either a square or a sphere or something, and then you mold it, you shape it with these brushes to make it look how you want it to look. And that's quite a complex thing to do, whereas like Fusion 360 or Tinkercad even, you've got like a block, and you can start with a rectangle, and then you can carry on modifying it, and you can even sculpt in Fusion to some extent.
Not as much as some of the others. But if you're interested in learning, there are great tutorials. Angus from
Maker's Muse.
Maker's Muse has a whole 101 series where he does tutorials. If you want to get anything done and Tinkercad is what you have, Chuck Hellebuck, he is always putting tutorials and using in his Friday 3D videos. He's always using Tinkercad. So there's a whole myriad of people online.
Yeah, those are 101s from Maker's Muse. They are just great. They are really easy to follow, and it's really easy to learn Fusion.
Yeah. The beauty of like YouTube now is that sometimes you'll want to do a specific thing. Like I wanted to learn how to make a really good SVG file in Fusion. So an SVG file is usually an Illustrator file that you may have made like transparent. So you make it completely black and white, drop it into you know, from Illustrator, or you can use like an SVG generator. So you can just use an image and then you can, you know, make it 3-dimensional. So I wanted to know how to make it so then, you know, like let's say the Starbucks logo, for example, you know how it's got all the lines around it. I always used to do that manually, but I knew somehow there's a way to do that in like one hit. And the way to do it is to highlight it all, right click it and click fix, and it just makes it all blue, and then you can just extrude it. And then I shared that with Matt from How I Do It, and he was like, oh wow, I've been doing it manually as well for ages. And I was like, yeah, me too. And you know, that's what's great about this community, where you find something out, you share it, and then you just carry on, you know, to learn together. It's brilliant.
People helping each other and learning from everyone.
Yeah,
absolutely. I was kind of stuck. I have this file here, which is part of a project I'm working on, but this whole I wanted to incorporate. I bought a piece, a real world piece that I wanted to incorporate into this from Amazon, but it was about 2.5 millimeters too tight. So in like a 5-minute, I looked on YouTube, asked a couple of friends on Twitter, and within about 5 minutes, I had James from Print and Play via a Twitter DM walk me through how to basically just isolate this portion, this round portion of the model, and scale it. So make the hole bigger. And yeah, it was 10 minutes before I want to make hole big. And then 10 minutes later, James is, oh, hey, okay, you see this part? Yeah. Yeah. Do this now. Okay. And cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's a big thing about the community. And going back to what you said about Facebook, a lot of people, I think there are people who feel comfortable in different places. It's kind of like Reddit. If you are comfortable in Reddit and you have a tough, thick skin and you're used to Reddit's sarcasm, then Reddit might be, you know, the perfect place for you. And Facebook, you know, if you're comfortable in Facebook, there are great groups in Facebook. The community is wherever you're at, there you will find people that are in the community that are willing to help. I think most of us on here use Twitter a lot, so that's where you usually will find many of us hanging out. And if we're not posting something, we're usually making bad dad jokes about something or the other.
Yeah. Tom Filament Friends is in the chat and he says everyone on Reddit is an expert till they see your performance, which is, you know, Reddit's an interesting place. I've only ever been on it like twice, and it's not really for me, not because of the sarcasm. It's just different, where I can't really get my head around it.
I just stopped reading Facebook posts and things like that. They are just for a fight or something like that, and I just prefer Twitter way over Facebook.
Yeah, I think the beauty of like all these different platforms is like, I've been on Reddit because I posted in a group that I did a 500% scale benchy in polyalchemy, and people was like, you know, I got a lot of people saying, why on earth would you do something like that? You know, how much material was that? Blah, blah, blah. And I printed it for my son, and then I just put it in a group. But, you know, in a group, it got like 500 likes or something, you know, and, you know, it's like, I've never had that ever in a group on Facebook where it's got so many likes. And I think it just went a bit nuts because of that. But I think it's like the sheen and the shine of the color that polyalchemy generates, you know, and that kind of shows that, you know, it's something a little bit different. That was when polyalchemy was just like getting known. So I think people are quite surprised by that as well. you know, like Tom's just said right there, he printed a 1,000 scale gnome from Protopasta and got abused for it. You know, just because he decided to print something huge, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be like, wow, look at what this guy has done. He's spent all this time. You know, he's the one putting the electricity in, like I was. He's the one paying for the filament. You know, but people don't see it like that. They see it like, oh, what a waste of money because you haven't made it functional. Well, maybe it is functional. It's still in his garden like a year later.
Yeah, Reddit. There's a large dose of people that hang out there for the Brits to take the piss, and sometimes that can be fun. I have projects that I do that are one-off projects that I have friends, you know, like a trash cardboard project or just something fun that I did, and I'll throw it up there, and usually it's just to take the piss, and it's just to have fun. Though I know for me, if I have a problem with something or if I'm stuck on something, then I can put something up on Twitter, and if Tom's around or James or heck, Chris Riley, if I have a Marlin issue, somebody's going to jump on and say, hey, you know, did you try this? What's this?
And you just get useful answers.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the background that these people have within the community is just amazing as well. Like Chris Riley, who works like on big mainframes, you know, in IT for his day job, and then he's be able to transfer a lot of that knowledge to be able to do what he does in Marlin and things like that. You know, it's just incredible work. You know, like I'd never be able to do what he does, but that's what makes him who he is, because, you know, there's not many people who can actually do what he does, you know. And that's why he can stand out from the crowd, because he's, you know, pretty much like putting it out there for everybody else to use, which again comes back to the beauty of open source, because that's what people want. And the minute somebody goes, oh, I'm not sharing information, that's what people don't like. And I know James is reading the chat because of like what Tom's put in and stuff, but you know, I guess it's a great place to be. And like the beauty of, like, let's go back to MRRF for a second. Like there's all these people going to MRRF, and I know, like, I'm envious of everybody there, as per like Paul and James are, and everybody hopefully in the chat as well. I know Matt's on his way there right now. But the beauty of it is, like, people will say, oh, look, I'm live from MRRF. I'm, you know, showing what's going on here, so you can feel like you're part of it. Hopefully, I keep saying it, but hopefully somebody from MRRF will jump in the Google Hangout and they can actually tell us what's going on there. That'd be a really good. And Tom's asking what MRRF is. MRRF, it's where they've got your filament, Tom. What's MRRF? MRRF is the Midwest Rep Rap Festival, for anybody that doesn't know. And it's in Goshen, Indiana, which isn't that far from you.
Hey, there's Uncle Ron. I'm watching. I have. I can see. Sometimes I can see Martin is there. He's over by the Country 3D and Fun King end of MRRF right now. So Fun King's talking to everybody. I've got my surveillance. Yeah, I think MRRF is an opportunity. It's a little bit. I've wondered why we don't have anything bigger, but I think the opportunity to do something would probably be the biggest opportunity would be the Sweden makeup.
Yeah, there's that like TCT show. I appreciate that's not like, it's more of like a commercial event, but plenty of people go there. Like I know Tom's been there, and you know there's plenty of other people over here in the UK that have been there. Like I exhibited there for 4 years while I had the business, and you know it was really strange for me going back there last year as a visitor, because I thought, as much as I knew loads and loads of people, it was so bizarre to just walk around and not have to go back to my stand to try and sell something, and you not have to have a sales pitch ready to go for once. I could just relax and, you know, enjoy the but it's gone so commercialized. I mean, last year, like, there's a huge section literally just for like HP, Stratasys, you know, all the big stuff. So whereas obviously MRRF is and Earth, for the example, the East Coast Rep Festival is obviously very much RepRap based. You know, you build your own printer, or it's a printer that you modify in, like Perusa or whatever. So,
and then 3D Meetup Sweden as well. That's basically the same.
is it very much the same at Sweden? Do you
Yeah.
have, like, tables laid out and stuff like
Yes,
that?
bunch of tables, and of course there are some commercial, people, companies that are there, but it's mostly just a bunch of tables, people showing off what they have, few lectures about things. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know in Germany and Frankfurt we have I can't remember what it is. It's a large industry thing, and we had the big rep was there. I know George from MVO was also there. Then CNC Kitchen was also there, because that's what he does for his day job. Is he's an engineer, and he does 3D printing.
Yeah. Stefan's a very clever guy as well. You can tell that, you know, the way he puts things across and stuff, you know, he's a very clever guy. And I haven't listened to their podcast yet, but I've heard great things about it.
I enjoy it. Being a native English speaker living in Germany, and having done, because if you live here, I've done some English consulting. It's really good Denglish if you're into that too. Denglish is a combination of German and English. So I usually you can always you can play a drinking game with how many times every time you hear Denglish you have to take a drink. But they're both two engineers, really informative. They should be there shortly, and I haven't anybody here from Kat, because she was supposed to meet up with Martin.
Oh, Martin, yeah, she got stuck in Iceland. Well, she got delayed in Liechtenstein, and
for 24 hours.
Yeah. I think she's now in the plane to Chicago.
Yeah, she's on the way now. Yeah, I think it'll be like tomorrow morning their time, or our morning there tonight when she gets there or something. There's like a 6-7 hour time difference or something, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
7
hours, is it? Yeah.
Well, yeah, but now it's 6 because we in Europe haven't gone to daylight savings yet.
Yeah. Sunday for us. I don't know if it's the same in Germany.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sunday. For the EU and the US did it like 2 weeks ago.
All right. Okay. Lighter nights, hopefully. Well, I say that for England. Anything could happen. We could have snow on Sunday for all we know. And I'm not joking. About 3 weeks ago on a Saturday, we had every season in one day. So we had rain, sleet, snow, sun.
It's like a normal UK day, like.
It's not like that every day. I know there's like this big myth that it's horrific weather. But honestly, 32 years on this earth, and that's the first time I've ever seen, ever seen that many seasons in one day. Katie's going. Good night, Katie. Thank you for being here. See you later.
Good
night. Stephen, Lightspeed, hello. How are you doing?
Hey, Stephen.
I
just put something up on Twitter, a link, and on the country 3D stream as well. If anybody from MRRF was around and wanted to jump on, to let us know.
Right.
So,
I need to get going to work, unfortunately. So,
right.
Are you working nights?
Yeah, sometimes.
All right. Okay.
That's great.
Well, thanks for sticking with me, Paul, while we got through round 2.
Yeah. Thank you. And see you next time.
Yeah, look after yourself. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi to Jake from State Farm. You have to remind me of your given name. I just used...
It's Matt.
Matt, that's it.
Yeah. But he hates everybody, he says. So.
Yeah. I always hear. I think Chris is the one who knows it. Stephen from the Lightspeed, 90 degrees. So that's 30, 60, 30 degrees Celsius in Arizona.
Wow, that'd be lovely.
I lived in Arizona for a bit, and
what is it here at the moment? Let's see.
The day I moved to Arizona,
6 degrees Celsius right now.
The day I moved there, it was like 50, 52 in the shade.
Really? Wow.
No.
It's not lovely.
No, not at all. Yeah, I think it was 10, 12 degrees here today. So it wasn't.
Who sounds American, me or James? We're waiting.
I sound American probably because you definitely don't sound American.
No, I'm far too broad English.
Absolutely,
James.
I am technically, I'm an American citizen. I'm just nomad is probably the easiest answer for that. I've lived in about 9 countries, so.
Wow.
Just in the States.
Yeah.
At my parents' house for 3 weeks, so that would probably.
Ben, you don't sound American at all. All right, I don't want to sound American at the moment.
Okay. So,
hi, Derek.
Hi, Derek. My chat is a little bit slow today. Oh, hey.
Yeah, mine's lagging slightly. This, like I said, this is round 2. The first one that Matt set up, not his fault, but some reason it was just, not switching between Paul and I. So, and then the stream went dead for whatever reason. I didn't cancel it. I don't think Matt did either. And then it was a case of resetting it up. So, that was a bit of a pain. But hey ho, we're here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we'll avoid. This is a non-political stream, so we'll avoid that. And we won't mention Brexit either.
You've said it now. I think you just wanted to get it in there, didn't you? It would either be you or somebody within chat. I've stopped following what's going on because they're all going crazy down in London. So it's I'm just like, if we're gonna do it, just get on with it. If we're not gonna do it, just don't do it.
I was at work today, and somebody was actually watching the parliamentary stream. And no, okay, can we just have the meeting, please?
Yeah.
The 7 the Lightspeed. My YouTube channel is Sonic Alchemy and Makerspace. If you search for that, or I will type something in the chat, and if you then click on my name on the right side, then you can go to my channel. Let's see. I'll just type that. There you go. So if you're interested in finding out about my channel, you can find out there. And if you haven't subscribed to Ben or
people watching to me at the moment because I haven't put content out for a month.
I had somebody in my. I had a death in the family, so I have been away.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I don't want to bring everybody down. But yeah, it's been about a month since I put anything up. I was supposed to have something going up, but all of the work that should have been done, well, let's say this was the result of trying to print this evening. So there won't be video on Glob there.
Well, this thing that I made for Katie was like the first thing I printed in like kind of 3 days or something. So, it's and I've had issues with some of my other printers. I'm wanting to get rid of 1 or 2 just to make some space. So you just get to that stage at some point where you're like, right, do I really need this machine that I haven't used for 2 weeks? And especially when it's a big machine, and then you're like, how much could I sell it for? Is it going to be worth selling it? Am I worth just keeping it just in case? Because that project might come up, you know. And then it's, but I'm trying not to be a hoarder. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, most of my printers, all of my printers are self-made. I usually have through makerspaces here. I have 2 production machines,
Right.
but we'll see later in the year. There might be something in the works. Just Loco asked a question: how is the CR10 clone, affectionately called Frankenstein? If anybody gets the link, the reference there, 2 points to you. But give me a second here, and I will try to turn the camera, and let's see if I can get you an image of that. There, the Frankenstein is, and I was in the middle of testing out. Maybe we could talk about it. If anybody else has any experience with so there he is, up and working, 330 by 330 by 240. The next upgrade is a 600 millimeter Z lead screws, which will give me, you get about 72% of your overall length. So that'll give me about a 435 millimeters on the Z. I've been testing out the Amazon basic PETG, and I've heard from a lot of people, I tried to go in blind, but I've heard from a lot of people that very few people have been happy with any of the Amazon basic filaments.
Really? Right.
Yeah. I was looking at some reviews today. I was thinking, okay, I need a PLA, and just looking at the reviews of the PLA, maybe 60% were on the negative side or less than 3 stars.
Really? Wow.
I had,
from what I've seen on like Twitter, a lot of people really love it. I mean, I've not tried it to make an opinion on myself, but I think it's like anything else, though, isn't it? You know, somebody will say, "Oh, I love Prusum," and then the next person will get it and go, "Oh, I hate it." You know, so
yeah.
I think unless you've really had a go, you know. And Derek's following on with your comment, actually, James. Hey, Ben, don't you think it's time for Amazon UK to release PLA in the UK over ABS? Can we not? Oh, can't we get their PLA here? Is it only ABS? That's interesting. I didn't know that. But yeah, they should definitely release PLA.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think we just got the PLA in Germany, and I haven't seen the ABS, but the PETG, and I think the PETG, the problem I'm having with it is my hot ends are PTFE lined, the clone versions.
Yeah.
So I think, going back to conversations I've had with George from MVO and Stefan from CNC Kitchen, is switching to an all metal hot end would probably make it easier, because I think the chemical composition of the Amazon basic PETG, it doesn't have as many additives, and that means that usually it should be printing at a range of 230 to 250. And the problem with that, if you're using a PTFE lined hot end, is over about 235, PTFE tends to start off gassing in a really nasty way.
Right.
You want to be in the room with it, and it's worse than ABS. So I think that's probably my issue. Looking around at
is that with the ABS, that one?
No, this is the PETG.
PETG, sorry, yeah. Okay.
And the PETG, I think it's a difference between, say, if you look at like the dust filament PETGs or the Hertz 3D,
Yeah.
which we've been working with, they will print at a lower temperature, or even some of the eSun stuff I've worked with, they'll print at a lower temperature. And basically what they're doing, as I understand it, and if there's somebody who's a chemical engineer here that could correct me, or later wants to in the chat or the comments correct me, adding the additives is what makes it able to be printed at a lower temperature.
Yeah.
This more pure PETG in that sense.
Yeah. Well, the ColorFab Engine, which is like their version of copolyester, I've printed that without a heated bed before, and that stuck like it printed like butter. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But I had the heated, the hot end at like I think it was 245, printing really slow, and it worked really well. I didn't have any support on that. It was just on a small like vase thing. It was quite interesting. Derek, going back to your question about the Amazon Basics PLA, I was just having a look, and apparently you can get it, but it's more in the coils like you'd get for a master spool or something. So I think that's the kind of the way that you'd have to go if you wanted to get the PLA. It doesn't look like they do it on the full spool yet. You can get ABS and PETG, but you can't get PLA on a spool yet, which is a bit random. And also on that note, I don't think Amazon are producing that filament. It'll be somebody else.
No, yeah, that's been the consensus I've heard from a lot of people, that they're just a reseller when it comes to that. And Don, yeah, if you happen to be in Germany, or I think in the EU, for cheap filament, there is OWL filament. They do produce some decent quality, in the 10 to 15 euro range for PLA.
Tom saying cough cough eSun. That's who you think. I wonder if does that mean you think that's who make Amazon Basics?
I could speak about eSun, but being transparent, I am sponsored by eSun, so I have some of their PETG that was sent to me for a project, and comparing that to what I'm using from the Amazon Basic, the chemistry is different.
Right.
Because I was printing the eSun, yeah, it's somewhere here.
Yeah.
Not able to dig it out. The eSun PETG that I printed, it was a purple, and it was printing at 220 hot end, and that came out really nice, no problem. The only thing I had to do was increase my non-print travel speed. If you're ever having stringing problems with PETG, that's something you can do. There's a great Matter Hackers guide on that.
Yeah.
So that was what I did, and that was printing at 225. That was no problem. When I come to the Amazon Basic, sorry, I've got a little bit of a jet lag still going on, so
it's all right.
A little funny in the head. That's a definite.
I mean, like this, for example, this is let me get this screen up. This is eSun PLA Plus, the green one that they sent to me. So this is done on my Ender 3 at 0.1 layer height. And you know, I love the finish on this. I mean, when I very first tried eSun years ago, I honestly didn't get on with it. I just thought it was rubbish. They've obviously done a lot of R&D since, in my opinion, from trying it. But I'm talking 5-6 years ago, you know, a while ago, maybe not even that length of time, but, you know, and just touching on the fact that this is done on an Ender 3, because I come from like a commercial background of, you know, like selling printers and stuff like that. an Ender 3 to me has always been like, oh, it's a cheap printer. And then since coming out of like the commercial industry, if you like, and being like a maker, whatever, and content creator, I've kind of been able to drop that viewpoint and be able to be like, you know what, if I want to buy an Ender, I'll buy an Ender because everybody else seems to have one, and being a bit of a sheep and jumping on the bandwagon of the Ender 3s. And you know what, that's probably one of the best purchases I've made this year so far for 3D printing, because I picked that up off eBay for £100 and it's done probably like 40 hours of flawless prints, and it's kind of made its money already.
And if you with the Ender 3, that if you know what to watch out for, then you've obviously probably got a collection of spares on the side. Let me go back and jump into a comment by Tom. Just because two materials come from the same manufacturer doesn't mean they're the same. They're all different qualities per price. Yeah, absolutely. My comment was under the assumption and the direct response to it's the same exact stuff, but yeah, absolutely. Different filament companies will make and resell stuff. You like Strong Hero or 3D Hero. A lot of that comes. Hello 3D. I think there's definitely some. Just from my experience with Amazon and eBay in Germany, I've got some stuff that was 3D Hero, but it was actually made by Sunlu. So yeah,
right.
Really,
Derek's asking, what temps do I print PETG at? The last time I printed PETG, I think I did something like 260 for the hot end, and I want to say 75 for the bed, possibly 80.
What printer printing that on?
That was on my Lulzbot.
Okay.
That was with Engen Lux though, so that's kind of like Colorfab PETG, so
yeah.
Yeah, that was the last time. But I've actually got, funnily you mentioned PETG, I've actually got some Prusament PETG that I want to try, and I think I'm going to try that on the Ender 3 this weekend because I want to give that a try. I've had it in the box for months, and when you're just printing loads and loads of PLA, because like before Christmas, eSun, probably a bit like yourself, James, eSun will have sent you some filaments for Christmas, because they want you to do Christmas projects or whatever, and so I did all that, and then I had to get through. I've still got the eSun filament to get through and stuff like that. So, and Tom said, and he made a lot of purchase too. I think he's getting at that. I've made some purchases. Well, I've bought some of his Voodoo filament from Filamentum last night. Well, I actually randomly woke up at 4 a.m. and then I was like, oh, I wonder if that Voodoo filament's released. And then I was like, oh well, yes, it is. So lo and behold, 2 spools later, and they've already shipped it, which is awesome.
I'll just jump on and check this out a little bit, see if it's exactly. I've just got to go to the bathroom. Let me just hold on.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So here's the. It is a frame. This is actually a frame I'm working on for a project, and it's the eSun Purple PETG. And it was printed on my Dolly printer, which is the mom's the make a cheap version of a Prusa printer, and I printed that at I think it was around 225 and 50 degrees on the hotbed, but I was also printing that with covering it with like that floor mat EVA foam, so to create a bit of an enclosure, because in my building was built right after World War II, so the walls consist of whatever they could find. Sometimes it's newspaper, sometimes it's brick. So that's our.
And the
something
chat's
you have to
talking
deal with.
about not only voodoo but pizza. So it's funny. I had pizza earlier, so I'm still quite full on. It's not making me hungry, which I'm happy about. So Friday night must be pizza night for everybody.
No. I had dinner already, so I'm all set, and I had a nice beer, so I'm good.
I'm just checking chat. They're talking about pizza. Matt's got his voodoo on the way as well. I think Grumpy Dude, they mustn't. Yeah, check your mail, Grumpy Dude, because I'm pretty sure. Well, you ordered, I think, just before me. I think Matt ordered just after me. So, well, I don't know about Matt actually. I know I ordered mine pretty much after you, Grumpy Dude. So, and voodoo too. I'm pretty sure you'll probably get some voodoo, Wexter.
All right, it worked on Workster. He wants pizza now.
Yeah, yeah. On its way. Ah, cool. Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes, like, if you're waiting for that email, it never shows up when you want it to. You know, like, I just happened to look and it was there. So I was quite fortunate that it was there. And then I flagged it. I was like, right, I'll just keep an eye on that. So I guess that'll be here Monday, Tuesday, something like that. 2 clicks, you know.
I've got a couple of roles that'll be here on Monday for a project that it's a multiple James project. I can say that.
Right.
You'll see more in May.
In May.
Is it an epic James project?
Yeah.
Probably see some teasers before that, but there been maybe 1 or 2 small hints on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, it's getting late here, and I don't know where. Well, we were hoping for some people at MRRF, but they've been quiet, haven't they? I don't know, like some other people are currently streaming, so that could be taking over the fact that, you know, that nobody from MRRF has jumped in, which is a shame. But I've got a hectic day tomorrow, so I'm going to have to call it a night.
All right, yeah. I also am still struggling with the joy of jet lag, so I'll probably head out and try to sleep for a few hours.
Well, if you want to do an outro then, James, and just let people know where they can find you, that'd be great. Okay,
I am James, and I am the oldest member of Sonic Alchemy Makerspace. We're a fan-based making collective, doing everything from electronic projects to cardboard, 3D printing pens, building 3D printers, robots, a whole range of things. You can find us on Twitter at Sonic Makerspace and everywhere else at Sonic Alchemy Makerspace. There's a YouTube channel. We do usually weekly videos. Unfortunately, due to circumstances, there hasn't been anything, but there are things to come. And if you happen to be in Germany and want to stop by May 17th to the 19th, we will be live at Berlin Makers Fair with the guys from Pimeroni and a few other people. Hopefully we'll be able to spend a little bit of time with Prusa himself again this year. Got a chance to talk to him last year. So that's who we are. Thank you. And there you go.
Thanks, James. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm Ben from Hawk 3D Proto. I have a YouTube channel. I've also got a Twitch channel. Very active on Twitter as much as I possibly can be, Instagram and Facebook, and pretty much every social media platform on a daily basis, provided I'm not asleep. So I try to engage as much as I can. I absolutely love 3D printing in this community. I want to take the time to thank you all for bearing with us while we had that technical issue earlier. And we got sorted with round number 2. Thanks, James, for jumping in on the stream and for hanging out, and for everybody in the chat. Look after yourselves, and there'll be a US stream next week. I'm not sure on the topic, but if you keep your eyes out on Twitter, and make sure you sub to this channel here on Friday, 3D Printing Community Hangout. Keep an eye on all the stuff on Twitter for MRRF, and yeah, We'll see you on the next one. Night, everybody.
Hit that like before you go.
Smash the like, smash the sub.
Yep. There you go. Thanks, guys. See you next time.